guys, if you've watched any of my videos, you've noticed probably that my method of finishing up my projects is pretty much bringing them down to a mere polish, buffing them up. So I'm trying to come up, I want to come up with a way to finish them more in a darker, rustic look. And I'm going to make up some blacksmith, what I'm going to call blacksmith juice. Looking on the internet, the best recipe, or the most popular recipe that I found, the formula that we're going to go for is equal part beeswax and linseed oil and 1/2 part acetone. So we're going to mix some of that up and see how it works. So we'll go ahead and just kind of shave this up the best we can. I think it'll dissolve better if it's shaved. Oh yeah, that'll work really well. We'll shave this up and we'll go from there. It's the fastest process in the world, but it's getting this can, filled with chips. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this in the forge, or near the heat of the forge, just to kind of soften it up a little bit to give the linseed oil a chance to I just warmed the can up a little bit. We'll just let that cool down. I don't want to dump that oil in there directly. So I got about, I'd say, 1.5 cups of beeswax in there. So we'll put in about the same amount of linseed oil, and we'll put in 1/2 of that amount of acetone. Now that we have the mixture put together, we want to warm that up to help to dissolve or melt the wax and hopefully to let it dissolve in with the oil and the acetone. So I got one of my old cast iron pots, and we're going to go ahead and throw it on the forge, heat up the water, and then use that kind of as a double boiler. I'll bring it over on the table and just let the can sit inside. Well, I'll tell you, that didn't take too long on the forge. You bring that pot of water up to a boil. Just go ahead and set this in here. Bubbling a little already. You can see it or not, but that oil's bubbling in there. After about 5 soaks in the water, I got everything dissolved now. I'm just letting it cool down. Can you see inside that? There we go. Letting it cool down, and going to find out whether or not we end up with a paste or a liquid. From what I see on the knife, it looks like we're going to end up with a paste, so I might actually throw some more linseed oil in there because that beeswax is expensive, and if I end up with a pasty covering on this, I'm just going to be wiping it away on the rag. So I'm going to throw a little more linseed in there, and then we'll see what the mixture is then. So I got this nice goopy mess now, and that's starting to look good. It's still warm. Yeah, it's still pretty warm. So I think it's going to have a little bit thicker than I got right now. Maybe something solid. I don't really want it solid. But you got to remember, I'm going to be brushing this over a warm piece of steel, so that'll help melt it off. So I'm not getting this kind of mess. We'll give it a test and see what happens. I think we're ready to test it right now, actually. Here's a failed fire steel that I was making. I'll warm that up and we'll soak it and see what happens. I didn't warm it up too much, just enough so that it's warm. We'll dip it in there a couple of times. Coating on it. And I'm not sure if I want to brush that off too much or not. But I like that. You can see it. So that's working out well. Alright, so after done testing, I like that a lot. I can feel a nice waxy coating on there, not too much. I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. And this particular piece, it darkened the piece a little, which I like a lot. This was sandblasted, so after putting that coating on, it doesn't look sandblasted. It looks forged, which is good. This one here was a polish, and nice coating on that. The polished stuff didn't darken as much, which I might think is a good idea. And of course, the knife here doesn't look too bad either. So that's my mix. I think I'm going to end up with about a little bit of like a goop, not quite a liquid, but I'm okay with that. So ultimately, I used, to start with, 1 part linseed oil, 1 part beeswax, and 1/2 part acetone. A lot of people don't use the acetone, so I might try that sometime. put it in a double boiler, get it all mixed and melted, and then go ahead and kind of adjust your recipe from there for the consistency or the texture that you want, and you have a nice protective coating for your blacksmith items. And it's a relatively traditional kind of coating, I believe. So there you have it, Blacksmith Goop, done.